turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, move it down. This the time to move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring. This is the time for no gimmicks. No, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State of mind. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit. What's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on. This the time. Guarantee we move. You know how we respond. The state design. The state design when we feel it.
Yo, what is up, people? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. We have a bonus episode for you guys this morning on this lovely Friday morning. It is I, Bred Like a King, made this Kelvin Kaylee, along with my co-host, Frank D, the chosen one. Before we get into the show this morning, we got a really quick hit for you guys this morning, but before we get into the show this morning, Frank D, I want to let you know that I got your gift and I tried it on. Fits like a glove. We're going to be ready to rock.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. That's excellent. I'm finally glad you have joined the club of cosplay.
Yes.
It is fabulous to hear that everything went out. What about the boots? Have you tried the boots?
The boots fit well. So I will take pictures later. But yes.
Yeah, awesome. I told you when you did the shit you're supposed to take pictures of it, you know. And this is exactly why a Padawan you will still be.
No, I was just trying it on just like to get the feel of it, and I was like, oh shit, this is dope.
right.
So this is dope. But yeah. But yeah, man, thank you for that.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It's gonna be awesome. But
yeah, that's what's up.
Good show this morning. We just have one topic, and it's the one topic.
You know what's funny? I'm gonna cut you off, but what's
go
funny
ahead.
is a conversation that we had prior to recording now. See, this is the thing that people don't understand when you're doing a podcast. So we have a general bullet point of what we're gonna do, what we're gonna talk about, and then before we do it, we just shoot the shit. And then while we're shooting the shit, we get into these debates where he has a strong opinion about something, and then Frank D has a strong opinion about something, and it's just like, damn, why didn't we record that?
I know. Every time, every show, it's like every show we talk about, like we should really be recording right now.
Yeah. So I don't know, but whatever. I'm glad you enjoyed the gift. Like I said, man, you gotta take pictures. You gotta show it off, dude, because I got plans for that.
All right.
Got plans for that. Got an event coming up in Dallas. I'm gonna talk to you about. I got plans for it.
Right on. And we have more news on that front too. So this will be leading to something else outside of Dallas. But yeah, man. Let's get into it.
Yep.
Tony Khan running his mouth again. This time with Eric Bischoff. And he made a mistake, and he's going to be paying for it a lot. So let's talk about it. There was a tweet that went out. What day was this? Yesterday?
Yeah, it was. It was early.
No, it was after the show. It was after the show, Wednesday.
So Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday, either Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. Eric Bischoff put out a tweet. Actually, is Bischoff's partner, John Alba, who was his co-host on the Strictly Business podcast. And he put this tweet out talking about basically how they were going to be ending that podcast because Eric is busy doing other stuff, doing conventions and everything else he's doing. And he has a life, you know what I'm saying? Plus, he's already doing 83 weeks with Conrad.
Right.
So he decided, okay, I'm spreading myself too thin here. I'm going to go ahead and just end this podcast and just focus on 83 weeks and then the other ventures he's doing. So, of course, Tony Khan has and do you have a tweet?
I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah, that you can actually read the tweet, and tell the listeners out there who are listening to the No Gimmicks podcast right now what he actually said and what Bischoff his response was at the end there. Um, and while the Black Mac is looking for that, don't forget you can subscribe right now to the Patreon of That Feeling Podcast for just $3 a month. Okay,
Yep.
$3 a month will get you all this wonderful content that we have here at the DFPN family. I'm talking about the Smoke Pit podcast. I'm talking about the Queens of Nerdom, the USDN, the No Gimmicks podcast, of course. Very soon, the Rogue Scoundrels podcast. We got a lot of stuff going on here on the DFPN, and it will only cost you $3. $3.
Yep.
So
Yep.
check it out. Patreon.com/podcast. I mean, it's where it's at. So look it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Goddamn, he's been tweeting a lot. So
Who's that?
Eric. He's been going in. So the tweet originally was in response to John Alba. He tweeted out that the Strictly Business podcast was indeed going to be ending, and Tony Khan replied to this and said, "Sunsetting this fraud of a business podcast before the next AEW media deal is a wise choice. Hashtag AEW Dynamite." That's what he said. to which Eric Bischoff replied that he had got a good idea, that he was going to be starting another podcast called Wise Choices. And then he went on to say he went out and he tweeted a picture of the Quebec show with the crowd in attendance. He said, "A money mark with no talent other than spending daddy's money, going all the way to Canada to draw less than 4K in one of the hottest pro wrestling markets in North America." Talking about wise choices. Strap in, it's going to be a long day. And he went in for the rest of that day.
So I listened to the podcast last night that Bischoff did. It was Bischoff by himself, which I have to say, Bischoff by himself, that was excellent. He went in. He went straight in on Tony Khan. He went in on Dave Meltzer. He went in on just everything that's going wrong in AEW. And I thought it was the greatest shit I have listened to in a long time. It was great. It was like, finally, somebody put this guy in his place. Because you reading that right there, what was the point of Tony Khan even saying anything, even responding to that? Well, what was the point?
None. And he had been doing great. he hadn't said anything crazy. He hadn't tweeted nothing wild. He had just been focused on AEW like a lot of people wanted him to be. So this was just like, where the fuck did this even come from? Like, why? So it's just puzzling to me that he took the opportunity to take a shot at Eric Bischoff.
Right. And it's like, okay, I can understand if Bischoff was somehow affiliated with WWE, he was running WWE or something like that, or whatever. The guy was announcing that he's ending one of his podcasts, big fucking deal, right? Okay, whoop-de-doo. What was, first of all, you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Twitter, and you see this, and you reply to it. It's like, okay, that right there is something wrong to me, because at 4 o'clock in the morning, I ain't going to be on Twitter or X. All right? Not going to be doing that. Not going to be doing that. So that's kind of questionable to me. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, you never, ever saw Vince McMahon acknowledge anybody unless he absolutely had to do it. It was how many times throughout the years did you ever hear Vince McMahon mention WCW on his TV show? You never heard it until 1995 came along and Nitro came. When Bischoff started giving out the results to Raw, that's when
Right.
Vince started fighting dirty, especially when Time Warner was about to merge with Turner.
Right.
And they did the Billionaire Ted skits. So that's the only time you ever heard McMahon actually acknowledge WCW on the air, somewhat. And then it would continue on through the Attitude Era, but barely. Vince never wanted to give them any kind of a play.
Right.
So my thing is like, dude, you're supposed to be the owner of a company. Why are you so going in on Eric Bischoff? That just doesn't make any sense to me. You should be worried about your product, okay, and worrying about how to draw people to your shows instead of this immature bullshit, because that's what it is to me. And I'm not trying to be on the AEW payroll. I don't care about wrestling like that. I'm telling it like it is. It's just you shouldn't do that shit because it makes you look really, really dumb. And I know Tony Khan's not a dumb person, but it just makes him look really dumb and it makes him look very immature that you would have to go there. And all you did was just give Eric Bischoff more ammunition. That's all you
Right.
did.
Right. Now, before the show, I was like, both of them are petty. That was my opinion. Like, they're both petty. And like Tony doing that was extreme. It was a petty move. Like, as a petty person, I'm like, I see why he did it. He took the opportunity, take the shot. I don't know why they still have bad blood, but it seems like there's still bad blood there, at least on Tony's end. Eric has said on numerous occasions that he still roots for AEW, right? Even said that he tried to reach out after the NXT thing and tried to, give him some advice, but Tony just doesn't want to hear it. But I don't know where the bad blood is with them. Like, realistically, as a fan, I want Eric to be involved more with AEW. I would love to see it because it's on TNT or it's on the Turner Network, and he has history with Turner Networks. So being on good terms with someone like an Eric Bischoff actually makes AEW look a hell of a lot more credible. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that they have Bischoff in their back pocket, even on a consultual platform, right? Just as a consultant, you have someone there that has history with that network, knows the inner workings of the business, can give you pointers, right? I would think that's way more valuable than being petty every chance you get and just at least trying to draw attention to what you and him have going on. I don't know if that's what he's trying to do, but it's counterproductive to what AEW has been doing, right? Because let's just face it, the fans see it as a negative thing right now. And you've done the work to try to bring it to a positive place. You listen to the fans. You do. For Tony is not a dumb person. He does listen to the fans. He at least tries to give them what they want. That's good, but also don't be petty and be beefing with people like Eric Bischoff. Like, you don't need that shit. You really don't. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve your company. Let it go. Like, I know it's like you don't have thick skin. And usually in this business, you need it because people are going to piss you off. So you have to develop a sense of, I don't give a fuck about the other shit and just focus on your product. WWE doesn't focus on what the fuck AEW's doing. And they're better for it, right? Unless they're making tremendous noise, like in which AEW, when it first came around, was a problem because they were giving the fans what they want. That's the one thing that AEW has not ventured away from. And that's giving the fans what they want to see, right? They listen, which is all you really wanted in the first place out of WWE. Listen to the fans, give the fans what they want. They weren't doing that. Now they are. Now, what's your backup plan, Tony? It sure as hell shouldn't be feuding with fucking Eric Bischoff. It shouldn't be.
Well, I think the bad blood, if I remember correctly, the bad blood started between the two parties when Tony Khan made some disrespectful comments about Ted Turner. And Eric is very much a Ted Turner guy because Ted was the one who gave him opportunity at,
Right.
at WCW. You know what I mean? Ted was the one who gave him Nitro, on TNT 1 hour, and then moved it to 2 hours later on. So
Right.
Eric has respect and love for Ted Turner, and for someone to come along like Tony Khan and disrespect Ted Turner and all the major contributions that Ted Turner did for the wrestling business, the times that Ted Turner kept people in this business employed, the one guy that gave wrestling companies a spotlight on his network. And I'm talking about, Georgia Championship Wrestling. I'm talking about, Mid South, UWF. Talking
Right.
about, Jim Crockett Promotions, of course, which would later become World Championship Wrestling. So Turner did a lot for the wrestling business, and for someone to come in like a Tony Khan, who, my opinion, hasn't been impactful at all. It has not been. It not to me. Impactful in this industry is what WCW did when they took it to the WWF. They did something that hadn't been done before. See, all these other territories that I mentioned had tried to fight Vince and could never get anywhere. Look at all the sabotage that Vince would do to Jim Crockett on pay-per-view. Look at how they tried to sabotage Starrcade. All the shit that they were trying to do down there. And then when the tide turned, as the pendulum swung the other way, when WCW debuted Nitro, oh shit! Like, we're concerned about this because this could possibly divide the audience, and it divided the audience. But then what happened is that Vince not listening to not only the fans but not listening to his talent, mainly one named Scott Hall, and giving Scott Hall more money, or at least let him go work in Japan to go get their money, couldn't do it. So then what happens with that situation? Then what happens is Scott starts talking to WCW. He gets a deal. Kevin Nash's contract's coming up. They get a deal. They go down there to WCW and make history as the
Mm-hmm.
outsiders. And then we all know the rest is history after that, right? What have they done in AEW that is on that level? And that's a legitimate question. What have they done to move the needle like WCW did? Nothing. You're not on that level. And I'm not gonna even compare them anymore because that's what a lot of people have done. They can, because they're on the Turner networks, they compare them to
I don't think
WCW. I'm not
I
doing that
don't.
anymore.
I don't.
That's
I
what
don't
they've
do that.
always done, though. That's what they've always done. Because what did he used to watch when he was a kid? WCW. That was what he wanted.
Yeah, so them being on TNT, in which we talked about this in like the earliest of podcasts that we've done for No Gimmicks, them being on TNT is a nostalgia thing, right? Because we haven't seen it on TNT in over 20 years prior to it showing up. We
Well,
haven't seen it.
it's because of the just you would hear the bad just just feeling of about professional wrestling at Turner. And
Right,
that's why you saw it. You know what I mean? We
right,
saw it with TNA when they were on Spike, which, but they had previously had wrestling. The only reason they got TNA was because they were pissed with WWE for leaving them and going back to USA. But yeah, it's a nostalgia to have Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross on the show. It was a nostalgia.
right. It was a nostalgia act. But other than that, I would say the only impact that they've had on a big level is just being there. That's it. Other than that, like you gave for the wrestlers themselves, very impactful. But for the fans, just them being there and like I said earlier, giving the fans like listening to the fans, I think was impactful for them because it gave fans like another outlet, which, like you said, kind of it split the fans again
Well,
because
I'll
I
say
think
this.
this time around it's worse though.
I'll say this. So yeah, and this is kind of stuff we were talking about off the air. Yeah, okay. As far as making it to where wrestlers have a place to work in the industry, absolutely. Kudos to them
Right,
for doing that. That's excellent. To have it where more production people get to work, and there's a lot of these indie talents can go and do, you know, security or something at these shows, angles and shit. That's great for them to do that. Absolutely,
right,
okay.
right,
And what they've done, I will admit, the AEW makes money on pay-per-view. They do that. They sell pay-per-views. Now, in saying this, if you are not consistently putting out a great show every single week, then what is the reason why I'm going to spend $60 to watch your pay-per-view? See, even if the WWE was doing shit shows, they're on Peacock. So it's not going to really cost me anything to watch this shit show premium live event. But when you pay $60 a pop for a pay-per-view, it's an investment. In today's economy, that's a lot of money. So am I going to spend $60 to watch this shit? Or am I going to just sit back and not watch it and then just like, whatever. That's what a lot of people are doing now. They drew the biggest house they've had in a long time because of Sting's last match. I want to see what they do with Dynasty. I want to see how the ticket sales go for that
one. They got about a month, give or take.
I want to see what they do. And I'll say this too real quick. One of the big things. So I'm not a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan like that, but I will say this. Why is it that the first night that you debut Okada in AEW, did this dude not go face-to-face with Samoa Joe?
I will tell you from watching, that would not have made sense.
Why? Because of the Swerve Strickland program right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how many more times is Swerve going to job to Samoa Joe?
Swerve actually hasn't jobbed to Samoa Joe.
But he hasn't won either.
They haven't had a one-on-one. So
if they have a one-on-one, if they have a one-on-one match at Dynasty, which I'm assuming that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
And Swerve, let's just say Swerve loses the match. Are we not going to move away from that?
They should. But I don't think he's going to lose that match. Honestly.
I would hope not. I would hope not. But just from if the story, see, and that's another thing. You bring Okada in with no build-up whatsoever. No build. You just bring him in. He's out there with the Bucks. That's it. We're going to put you with a mid-Carter championship. Fucking Okada. Does that make any sense?
Bro, they have that
I'm just saying, does that make any sense, though?
It doesn't, but that roster is
Was this guy
wild.
not the guy in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
I think Okada will be the guy. I think he's going to be the guy in AEW. No.
I said, was he not the guy?
He was the guy. He was the guy.
So let me ask you a question. If Okada had, say, signed with WWE, is this the way they would have brought him in?
Let me counter that question with a question. If they bring Okada into WWE, where would he go first?
I would think he would probably go on Raw.
You think they would bring Okada right to the main card?
Yeah. I don't think Vince would have. No. I think Triple H would have, yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, you think he would have went to NXT?
Even with Okada, I don't think
You think he would have went to NXT?
Yep.
I don't think so.
I think he would have went to NXT first. Not had a long stay there, just long enough to get. I think he would have went to NXT, got the NXT championship right off the bat, just to get his feet wet, like they did with Kevin Owens, and then bring him up to the main roster.
I don't think so.
The WWE is smart on that level.
But I think they would have brought him out. I think the time, honestly, if they would have had him, the time to have brought Okada out probably would have been a Royal Rumble if they had assigned him.
If they had assigned him.
Right.
But I honestly, and this is where I give WWE credit. Unless they are like megastar, in which you can't put Okada in that realm. You can't. Unless they're a megastar, they're going to NXT first. Like you have to be like known in America and abroad for you to make the main roster.
No, that's not true, because Jay Cargill made the main roster.
Okay, fair point. That's a fair point. But again, they touted Jade as a star.
Yeah, but okay, that don't mean shit. Because how many of those people knew who she was when she joined when she came from WWE?
Here's what I was talking about before that. Like, this is all on the fandom. I'm gonna put this one on the fandom because you have some fans. These motherfuckers will say they don't know who certain people are. They need a fucking build up. Yet you get people like Jade Cargill, who's been in AEW, a dominant champion in AEW, and yet people from WWE did not know who the fuck she was until she got there. Now she's some fucking.
Well, now, hold on.
I'm not saying everyone.
Hold on.
I'm saying
Because
there were some
she
people.
got a hell of a pop when she came out there at the Royal Rumble.
Yes, she did. You know why? Because they touted her before then.
My point exactly, sir.
They touted
if
her.
They would have had if they would have had him out there.
Now you could have did that. You could have did. Yeah, you could have did that with Okada, and it probably would have worked. It probably would have worked.
Absolutely, it would have worked.
It probably would have worked. But again,
my ass, it would have worked.
You would have got a monster pop for. I don't think so.
I think you would have. Absolutely.
Okay. I could be wrong.
I think you would have got a monster pop for Okada. That would have blew the roof out the place. Because let me tell you something.
Oh God, this is like, but this kills me. You know why this kills me?
What's that?
Because you have some WWE fans who act like they don't know who the fuck certain people are.
And
but let us build it.
Act like they don't know.
But this is the bullshit. Like, this is the tribalism. This is tribalism bullshit.
See, I don't think it's tribalism. You know what I think it is, honestly? I don't think it's tribalism. What I think it is I don't really think people necessarily wanted AEW to come around. I just think they wanted.
I agree with this.
I just think they wanted WWE to get better.
I agree with this.
Yeah, that's what I
definitely agree with this.
I think they were content with how it used to be. They were content with WCW being around. So when that went away, and then they tried with TNA, that first show TNA did in Huntsville, Alabama, it looked promising, and then it fell off. You know, after a while.
That's like TNA now. When TNA came back, it was like a big fucking deal. Now no one cared. Well, that was kind of a self-inflicted wound, but that's another podcast. That's a whole nother podcast.
Oh yeah. but right now, my opinion, when it comes to just watching it, okay, I remember that night when Okada came out there. It made no sense to have him join the Bucks.
It doesn't, but you know what? After watching it, I kind of like Okada with the Bucks. I like Okada. Okada does heel as shit, but he gets a babyface reaction to it. Okada is actually a good heel.
You know why he getting the babyface reaction? Because people don't want to boo him.
Yeah,
that's not saying that he's a good heel. It's just because the people don't want to boo him. It's like saying when Stone Cold Steve Austin turned heel and he was still getting cheered. No, that's a mistake, and Austin knew it was a mistake.
Yeah,
because number one, it was a mistake because he was getting cheered. Number two, it's because all that merch money he was losing because they weren't buying his T-shirts anymore. That hurt him bad.
Yep,
that hurt him big time. So when it comes to Okada, you know what I would have done with Okada? I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, I would have built him up. I would have built him up and then debut him as a face.
Well, I would have. I mean, if you wanted to have a faction here, okay, that the Bucks are having, why not take Okada? What's his name? Takeshita? What's his name? Is that his name?
Takeshita.
Yeah. So you have Okada, Takeshita, and the Bucks. You could have them motherfuckers like a Yakuza or some shit.
I like that idea, and also I think Takeshita's a fucking phenomenal talent.
Yeah, he is. That's why. That's what I'm like. When I saw him,
phenomenal, bro.
When I saw him, and you could have had them if you want to keep him with Don Callis. Yeah, but that's how you bring. If the Bucks want to do something that goes away from the elite shit, it just had this whole other faction. It would have been Takeshita, the Bucks, and Okada as one group. Because I'm sorry, the Don Callis family, no.
Even with the Don Callis family is a good faction, but you have people in there that are
Is
getting.
it really?
No, it really is, bro. Like,
Really?
because you got Osprey, Takeshita, Hobbs.
Osprey and Takeshi, who were just wrestling each other for what reason?
I have no idea, but
Yeah. See,
but
see,
that,
see what I'm saying?
but again, match of the fucking year. But I see where you're going. Like if they need to do anything, they need to break that shit up.
Let me ask you a
But
question. During the early days of the NWO, how many times did you see? And I'm talking about the early days. I'm talking about '96, right when they first got started. How
yeah,
many times did you see Hall and Nash wrestle each other?
0.
Exactly, because it made no fucking sense. So if we're all in a faction together, it makes no sense. It's kind of like the Bobby Heenan family. You never saw them wrestling each other.
Yeah, true. You have a point there. Just so happened that shit was phenomenal, though. I'm not. Everything else aside, that match was absolutely great.
Oh, I've heard a lot of people say. I mean, it impressed the hell out of Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yeah, I understand that completely. But I'm just looking at it from a logical point of view here. It makes no sense to have two stablemates fighting each other. What's the point here? One of you got to do the job.
Yeah, but again, I don't think coming out of that match, it's hard to say someone didn't go over though, because they both did. They both absolutely did.
I understand that, but could we have not just had somebody else in Osprey's first match have him out there with some jabron as his first match to show this audience here what he can do on pay-per-view?
You could have inserted anybody.
Yeah.
But I think doing that helped Cash out a lot. I'm not going to complain about that shit. I get where you're coming from. For me, it couldn't have happened any other way. Okay, in hindsight.
Let me give you an example of what I mean like this, right? So there is one debut that is up here in debuts in the wrestling business. It's the Royal Rumble 2000. It's kind of a rookie, Kurt Angle, out there in the garden, facing the debuting Taz from ECW. You talk about debuts. You talk about a fucking debut. Look at that.
But that was home court advantage, bro.
It doesn't matter. I mean, some people knew he was coming. Some people didn't. Unless
it
you
was a hell of a debut.
If you didn't know, if you were on the dirt sheets, you didn't know he was coming. And that's my whole point. They built that up like that. You know what I'm saying? They built him in there with somebody who can handle it. Now, Takeshita and Osprey had this phenomenal match that everybody's raving about. That's great. Where do you go from there?
You had options, and I don't know if they're exactly following through on it right now. But the option was you kick Osprey out, but Takeshita's actually catching. The match helped Takeshita, is what I'm saying. Takeshita has become kind of a crowd favorite because of that match. So the option coming out of it was to have dissension within the Don Callis family, which that's how it appeared. But after that match, shit changed. I know shit changed because people love Takeshita. He's being featured on television more because of that match. So it's hard to say like they had a plan and they're just not sticking to it when the crowd fucking loves Takeshita. Like, so, what do you do with that?
So where is Powerhouse Hobbs?
Hobbs had a match not too long ago. But he was on the pay-per-view too. And he had a match after that.
Okay. So that proves my point right there. Not saying that you know it all, you don't remember it all, but we had a match not too long ago after that, but I didn't give a fuck about it enough to know who he's wrestling.
No, we've said this too.
That's
like Hobbs is one of those people. Hobbs is one of those people I want to win too.
But yeah, I mean, here's the guy. Honestly, when I saw Hobbs, I was thinking to myself, this guy could be the first Black AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah,
had he been pushed correctly. but he hasn't been pushed correctly. He's been squandered, no different than Wardlow. Wardlow, to me, is the biggest disappointment. And it's nothing to do with him. Wardlow's
No,
phenomenal. It is
no.
the way he has been booked is atrocious. And,
That's
and,
a
and,
that
and then
that's a whole
people want
nother
to come up
podcast.
here. People want to come up here and talk about how good this guy is at booking matches and shit. Are you kidding me? Look at Wardlow, for God's sake.
That's another thing, man. Like Tony Khan does. I am convinced Tony Khan does not like the big man.
Then why
You
are they
can't
there?
make me believe otherwise. You can't make me believe
Then
otherwise.
why are they there? You got some good options there of why you would think that too. Because look at Powerhouse Hobbs, look at Wardlow, look at Brian Cage,
Yep.
look at Lance Hoyt.
Yep. You have big men there that can fuck, like the Butcher. The Butcher's a day one that I was like, Jesus Christ, man, this guy is
No, I don't
phenomenal.
understand why the Butcher gets a lot of hate. I don't understand. I like the Butcher.
I like the Butcher
He's
too.
always one of the few guys over there that the guy can work.
Yes. He was on Dynamite this past Wednesday. And I'm
You know
like,
the Butcher
the
would
Butcher and the
actually.
Blade is a great tag team.
I agree. I agree.
They are a great tag
I'm
team.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you where I think the Butcher fits in right now. I think the Butcher would be a very good member for the House of Black.
I would the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah.
I agree.
Uh-huh.
That they fit. They absolutely fit. But like it's stuff like that. Like, man, you had if we go back to day one and the people that they had on day one, like you had a roster full of fresh talent that you could build. You had a roster full of people that you could make legitimate stars, right? And I don't know where they veered off. I don't know where they veered off from that, but you had people like the Butcher and the Blade, Best Friends, Private Party, Sammy Guevara, right? You had people like that you could build and make stars and turn them into household names when people were relatively unknowns. Like I don't think people understand like that's crazy, but you had a roster full of talent that was relatively unknown that you were starting a company with that you had people believing in, like Dr. Britt Baker. You had people like that no one else knew outside of this company that you could turn into household names. Where did we veer off from that shit? Like,
Because
keep building new people.
he started booking the show for Meltzer's crew, trying to get Booker of the Year.
You didn't need to do that. Like
That's the
I
whole
understand.
difference here.
Yeah,
You look at one show that is booking for the casuals, and you have one show that's booking for the marks.
Yeah, but when it first started, the shit was so fresh, man. Like
I
like,
know.
bro, like I love this shit. Like I don't know any of these people.
many?
Give me their story.
You know how many AEW events I've gone to? I've gone to a lot of AEW events. I got a lot of AEW pay-per-view purchases that I bought. I got a lot of AEW merchandise in the closet. But somewhere along the way, they lost me. And I don't support the brand anymore.
I'm still there, but I'm just like, man, what you had, you let go of. And it's obvious.
But I'm not. But let's put it like this. I'm not going to sit up here and say that everything is all hunky dory over at the WWE either, because it's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
I watch segments on YouTube of WWE. I thought the best thing that they did on Raw this Monday was the CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre promo, and The Rock and Cody. All that shit that happened there. Okay, other shit on there, I didn't see any of it. I just pay attention to the old segments because that's what draws me in. That's it. I am what you consider now, from me, a person that's been watching this since 1989. I am now a casual because I don't watch the shit like that. I'm not invested in it like that anymore. Okay, I'm more invested. I'm more invested into Star Wars now. So it's like a lot of my. I just don't. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't like. They come to town now. Yeah, I'll go if I want to go. But I'm not making my way to say, damn, I got to go to AEW Dynamite this time around. I don't do it anymore. I didn't go when they were here last time. That's just how it
Right.
is for me now. I'm not interested. There's people at work that want to talk to me about wrestling. Sure, you can talk to me about wrestling if it's the old shit. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it all day. But don't ask me anything about what's going on in AEW right now because I can't fucking tell you unless I go on YouTube and I'm not going to do it. But
See me, I'm the
my favorite
opposite.
person is Swerve. Swerve and Prince Nana. Those are my favorite people. And then, of course, Samoa Joe. You know,
Yeah.
and then I got my select few Wardlows and then Powerhouse Hobbs and Jake the Snake Roberts and Lance. Well, you know, people like that. You know, I'm a big Tony Schiavone fan as well. Jim Ross, you know, Taz. You know, but the rest of them, you know, yeah,
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like they are trying to get back to where they were and make shit fresh again, but they got work, man. They really do got work. And Tony needs to not engage in shit like he's doing with Eric Bischoff. He really does. Like just leave that petty shit alone and get to your company because you were doing that. Like the set changes that they went through, they really have taken steps to upgrade their product. They really have. But it's just when you get to doing stuff like feuding with Eric Bischoff and tweeting crazy shit at odd hours of the night, like that turns people off, man. Stop. It really does turn fans off. Like,
no,
why would I want to tune into your product when I know you're talking to people like that?
yeah, dude. That's my whole point. That's why I think it pissed me off the most is because it was. Listen, Eric Bischoff has the right to say whatever he wants to say on his podcast about AEW. No different than any other podcaster out there. But as
Any
the
fan,
any fan, exactly. But as
yeah,
the owner of a company, you have to learn how to take the criticism. Vince McMahon took it for years. He took it and did acknowledge it. And Vince did whatever Vince wanted to do. That's just what it was.
right.
You know? I mean, how much shit did Eric Bischoff take? You didn't see Bischoff out there publicly knocking motherfuckers. He didn't do it. He would knock
That's
the
true.
competition. He
That's
would
true.
knock the competition. Is what he
Right.
would knock.
Right.
But he never went after anybody. You never heard Bischoff out there, you know, doing anything like that.
That's true.
That's what I'm getting at here. It's like you as an owner, you have a certain responsibility. You if your underlings say if somebody has said something and I'll say, you know, Tony, I don't like what this guy said. I'm going to go out there and tweet his ass. Okay, well, whatever. That's me doing it. That's not the owner doing it. That's me doing
Right.
it. But I ain't the owner.
Right.
But that's the thing that bothered me about it was like, dude, you're the owner of a company here that's supposed to be number 2 to the WWF, and you are doing this type of immature shit. Like, come on, man.
Like
There's
the man is
indie
ultra
companies.
petty.
There,
He's
there, there's
ultra petty.
there's indie companies out here. You know, Metroplex
Yep.
Wrestling.
Yep.
You know, Dog
But
Pound
that's the
Wrestling.
thing, though. Like
They don't do shit like that.
yeah, you're supposed to be like the beacon for the up and comer, bro. Like don't do that shit because you're opening up the door. And again, you won't always be that guy. You're not gonna always be that guy. And then you're setting the example for somebody else. Like, what if there's another company comes around and they feel like they could talk shit about AEW to get ahead? You open the door for that shit. So I don't know, man. It's like I'd rather you just give me good entertainment and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's kind of like, yeah. I mean, what did Bischoff say before? Shut up and wrestle.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, man. Shut up and wrestle. And now you've given Bischoff more ammunition to fight. And
that's gonna be filthy work, bro. Because
yeah.
now he's looking at your numbers. Like,
oh no, he had a guy that was gonna come on there last night, but they were having some technical difficulties. But this guy was gonna specifically look at AEW's YouTube numbers and how they have declined over time. And this guy specifically focuses on YouTube. So
Yeah.
I'd love for Bischoff. I think he may have had him on before, but I'd love for him to come on.
That's gonna be nasty work, bro.
Yeah, I love
That's
for
gonna be
Bischoff to
nasty
have
work.
Brandon Thurston come on here. I think he's had Brandon Thurston on before, but I love for
Well,
him to have
I know
Brandon.
he gets his numbers from everybody gets their numbers from Brandon.
Of course, and that's what I like to pay attention to. Once again, like we talked about on the show previously on No Gimmicks, I like to look at the numbers because I like to look at those segments, and that's what as a promoter, that's what I'm going to look at. Like, okay, so did they not like the story we're telling here with this here? Did they not like these wrestlers? Switch out those segments. That's what I would do. You need to really relegate what you're going to put on Rampage, what you're going to put on Collision, what you're going to put on Dynamite.
They don't do that at all.
No. I'm gonna tell you another thing. I'm gonna tell you another thing that happened too. That kind of hurt AEW a little bit too. Is when they ended Dark and Dark Evolution.
Yeah, but I think with that new media deal they had to,
Maybe.
which it hurt them and it hurt the indie talent.
Yeah.
Which that was another good thing about AEW. They featured a lot of indie talent, and Dark Elevation was the platform for a lot of people to showcase the indie talent and possibly get a lot of people got signed off of Dark Elevation.
Yeah, we got a lot of Texas wrestlers that got signed off of that. So yeah, but I don't know, man. Hopefully in the future Tony Khan can make better decisions and not but he's not going to. He's going to keep doing what he's doing. So
like really, here's what I want out of the next media deal. Get rid of Rampage. Put ROH on Fridays. Give me Dynamite and Collision as two different shows and give me the ROH show on television on Friday. I could care less about Rampage.
Yeah, nobody watches that shit.
I could care less about it. I heard it's a good show. I don't even watch Rampage. That's saying something. I don't even waste my time with Rampage. Get rid of it. I'm more invested in ROH. So give me ROH. Actually, ROH is probably their best show. Just give me what you're giving me on the ROH app on television. And I'm set. Because let me tell you something. Athena is doing God's work on fucking ROH. She is killing it. She is carrying that show. She is carrying that company on her back.
You know, it's funny. Wouldn't it have been crazy if they would have had AEW Dynamite, AEW Rampage, and on Saturdays it would have been ROH Collision?
There you go.
Yeah. The what ifs that I can do on WWE 2K24.
Oh man, final shots, man. What you got?
Final shots is this. The PG era is not ending in WWE. I know people are thinking that, but it's not ending, okay? We shall see what happens when we go to Netflix, okay? But other than that, it's not ending, people. All right? So just, enjoy this ride that The Rock is taking you on.
Damn it.
That's all I got to say about that, man. I'm not gonna because it's Friday morning here. I'm not gonna say anything about help control the pet population, have your pet spayed or neutered. Oh, well, I guess I just said it. So
you just did.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, we are a week out from WrestleMania. I'm gonna do myself and everyone a solid. I'm gonna ramp up the shows here for the week. Probably try to do a show a day next week, leading us into WrestleMania. Just previewing what we got coming on WrestleMania day 1, day 2. We have a lot of wrestling. We got ROH Supercard of Honor. There's a GCW show. There's Mania Night 1, Night 2, NXT Stand and Deliver. There's a lot to cover next week. So I will try to be on here daily next week to ramp up the coverage into WrestleMania. Also, I will be in the UFL. I will be doing the UFL kickoff tomorrow at 12 Central here in Arlington. There's a good chance Dwayne The Rock Johnson will be in attendance because it is the championship game, not the championship. It is the champions of each conferences. They're going to be facing off tomorrow. So kickoff of the UFL, and I will be there as a press guest. So hopefully I will be able to question Mr. Johnson if he's in attendance, but let you know how that goes. Very excited for that. But we got a lot coming. And May 24th through the 26th, myself and Frank D will be at GalaxyCon, possibly in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff.
And people, if you're wondering exactly how it is that we're getting this done, I'll tell you how it's happening. I don't fucking know.
So we got a question. What's the UFL? The UFL, what's up, Tay, by the way? The UFL is the new league it's a spring football league created by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Well, not created by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It was originally created by Vince McMahon. Dwayne The Rock Johnson and his wife bought the league, and they are now merging the XFL, which is the league that they bought, with the USFL, which is an old football league that they revived for spring and gives players a chance to go to the NFL. Those leagues are now combined and called the United Football League. And we were lucky enough to be accepted as press medias of the members of the media, and we will be there as press tomorrow. So it's awesome.
Yeah,
Stuff.
that's very good. Sir, I have to ask you a question now.
Yeah.
For you to get this kind of perk, I mean, you got this going on, you got the Galaxy kind of going on. I just want to know, when did you join the Illuminati?
I didn't join the Illuminati, man. Come on. It's work that is starting to pay off, man. And that's a testament to you. That's a testament to me. That's a testament to DFPN, man.
What people don't understand about this, honestly, and this is going to be like a history lesson for you. People don't understand this. Me and Blak have been playing this ever since we were in Rosamond, California.
This is true.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
We were playing all this stuff that we're doing right now. It took a while to get there.
Yep.
It took a while, wrestling with our thoughts, and then that morphed into No Gimmicks and EFPN, all the shit that came after that. That's where it all came from.
Yep.
I mean, the Wrestling with Our Thoughts podcast actually predates the Smoke Pit podcast. We were the first. Yeah, we were the first.
It actually does. Yeah. So, yeah.
History lesson.
It's been a long time coming, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's finally starting to roll and roll in a positive direction. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that, like, one, we stuck around. Two, we worked ourselves into this position. And three, I'm ready and excited because you know what we talk about, man. And seeing it happen is fucking dope. But I'm just like, let's kick the doors down. Let's
fucking go and take over. Yep. And I will say, because like I said before, there's people out there that say, the Makk podcast, or whatever. I think consistently, the No Gimmicks podcast is one of the best professional wrestling podcasts out there, bar none, period. Okay, because you get so much variety on this show. Not only do we talk about wrestling, and then we talk about Star Wars, we talk horror, we talk everything about here. We just shoot the shit. Is what we do here, and that's why we come out here and we are the best, and we want our brand to grow. And the way to help our brand grow and to support your boys, $3 a month on Patreon. That Fun Podcast Network. That's how you help us grow, and hopefully you share this show. So when you listen here at No Gimmicks, you can listen to us on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcasts. Spread the word out there. Also, you can join the No Gimmicks Podcast fan group on Facebook. Okay, but I'm gonna be looking here because I see some people out there be trying to spam the group with your bullshit profiles and try to send porn.
We're already on it.
We're already on you, so that shit ain't gonna crack over here.
We already got you, bro.
Yeah, but other than that, I think that's probably it, partner.
All right, man. So you got nothing. I got nothing. Thank you guys for tuning in to this bonus episode here on the No Gimmicks podcast on the DFPN. Until next time, you guys enjoy whatever the fuck you want to enjoy, but come back because we're going to enjoy that shit some more. Peace.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks, gimmicks.